Jordan Moore, Sean Cody Kessler, and Matt Entz, USC's linebackers coach. Appreciate you taking the time with us, Coach. A great first season, so much improvement from your group and the defense as a whole. Saturday was a challenge, though. What did you like? What didn't you like looking back at that Notre Dame film?
Well, you're going to struggle when you can't control the opponent's run game. And we struggled at different times throughout the game and gave up too many explosive plays. And it's going to come down to a play here or there. When you're playing the fifth-ranked team or whatever ranked team in the country, it's not necessarily a perfect game, but you got to be able to get stops when you can, and you saw glimpses of it, there in the third quarter, fourth quarter. We had a couple back-to-back, really solid stops. Just consistency wasn't there, and I think if you asked all of our guys defensively, it wasn't the product we wanted to put on the field on Saturday.
Coach, when you're getting ready for a team like Notre Dame and you're watching the film, I'm watching them, man, this is a physical team. Is there anything that changes in your approach during the week, or is it kind of, we're gonna get our stuff done and this is how we're gonna do it, or is it like, hey, these guys are extra, we got to do this a little bit different as you approach the game?
Well, I think you always try to tweak based on the strengths of your opponent. They were a very fundamental, well-coached football team. You can see they didn't do a lot, but what they did really well. And I think we tried to harp on that with our players about just detailing your own work. We're going to have to exceed their technique, their fundamental. We're going to have to play with better pad level. We're going to have to be, a better tackling team than their backs are in the ability to break tackles. And we just weren't able to get that across maybe as well as we'd like to. Right there at the end, again, it's unfortunate. Late in the game, we were right in the mix, and there are no victories, pats on the back. It's a win-loss. It's a production-based business, and we got to continue to improve.
Coach, a guy that's impressed me all season long, has been great for this defense, is Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. How important is it to have a guy like Easton in your room?
Well, his experience, the amount of snaps that he's played, not just here at USC, but at Oregon State prior to his arrival, is extremely valuable. Just having those, reps that are critical in his development, his leadership, his approach. He has a plan to how he prepares, and I enjoy seeing things like that where guys have his own like kind of a notebook of things that he's looking for as opponents and understanding film study, and it takes the time for guys to understand how to do that. You're just not watching the game. You're trying to look for tendencies, and that's something that young players don't always have great grasp of, and Easton is one of those guys who I really appreciate because he does understand how to watch film and how to find the things and the giveaways that your opponent might have.
Is that what makes him such a great tackler too? I mean, when you play line, he had over 100 tackles last year, is leading the team this year. What makes him excel so well when it comes to stopping the run and just having a nose for the football?
Well, I think he does. He understands. He takes all the information that the opponent gives him pre-snap.
Yeah.
And through the week, we cover those things. We talk about backfield sets, is the why, what's his relationship to the tackle, and he takes all that, and then you try to compress it into, hey, here are the things they might run, and let's be prepared for those. And so, it's unique because the mind's working like a Rolodex the entire time, and then you have to communicate the call, communicate any adjustments on top of deciphering what you're seeing at that moment.
Easton and Mason Cobb, they were really the rock of this defense. So consistent. Mason missed the one game. Easton didn't miss any. But we did get a look. You have to replace them both. We did get a look at Desmond Stevens, and he certainly looked impressive. What's going on behind the scenes with him? What do you see? What do you like for his future?
Yeah, you're talking about a big, long, rangy athlete, a young man that played safety in high school, still possesses some of those movement skills, but he's just put 20 pounds on now, and so he's pushing 235, 240, probably after Thanksgiving, closer to 240 maybe. But, glass ceiling right now. Don't know where he can be, but I'm excited. I love his approach for a young guy. He's all about notes. He shows them to me. He has an iPad full of them every week. So the little things are big to him. And so when you have an 18-year-old who's willing to detail his work like Des is right now, it makes you smile. It makes you appreciative that there's still those type of kids out there, and they need to be at USC.
Coach, we've seen in the linebacker position over the years how the body types change, and obviously last year you got a chance to recruit, but kind of late in the game. You're going to have a full recruiting season here. What kind of guys, maybe body type, are you looking for when you're looking at that linebacker position? Because we've seen it fluctuate so much. You want fast guys, small guys, long guys, all these guys. What kind of, is there a specific kind of guy you're looking for?
Everything you said, I want. if you could come up with a mold to create them, but I think. Now that we've navigated the Big Ten, I think we've realized that there is a physical presence that's going to be required. I think things that you cannot ignore is you need length and you need, the ability, size to add weight to it. And that's
frame.
Where, frame. Dez is 6'3", and he's probably maxing out where he needs to be, but he is a physical presence. I think some of the guys that were, heavy on in the recruiting process, and I know that's 36 hours away, and I think you're going to see again frames that have the ability to carry weight, that Coach Wiley and his staff can hang some muscle on, and it's not going to impact their suddenness, their ability to accelerate, their ability to tackle, play in space, because there's a fine line. Everyone has that optimal weight that they need away, and when they tip it, all of a sudden they get slow, they become average, and as we all know, average is overrated.
Coach, you've been around a lot of coaches in your career on the defensive side of the football. What stands out the most to you about D'Anton Lynn, and what's allowed him to have the success that he's having so early in his coaching career?
Very thorough, very detail-oriented, still believes in fundamentals and technique. I think that sometimes, I think coaches sometimes see that, that's the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be great at the simple things to have success on Saturday, and I think this last Saturday was a great proof. It still comes down to blocking and tackling. Doesn't matter what you're in schematically. You could be 3-4, 3-3-5, 4-3, 4-2-5. You still have to be able to block and tackle. You got to be able to get off tackles to be successful, and he believes in those things. I think it is proof of his. He's been involved in football. He's been in a coaching family, and so he gets the bigger picture of it. Sometimes coaches we're our own worst enemy. We can come up with stuff that is great on the board, but if we can't execute it, we can't get off blocks, we can't tackle in space, or on the other side of the ball, we can't stay engaged and blocked, then it's no good. And so we got to, like I said, I challenge our guys every day to be great at the simple things.
Well, it's been a great improvement for the USC defense this season. Thank you, Coach Entz, and the entire staff has come in, been a big part of that. Looking forward to seeing who you sign. Signing day or early signing day, the beginning of the signing period, however it is now, is this week. Sunday we'll find out your bowl destination, so lots of exciting things to come here with USC football. Don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. One of the guys that was paramount in that turnaround is safety Kamari Ramsey. He is next on Trojans Live.